Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to answer which EV stock is the best one to buy, Rivian Automotive, Plug Power, or QuantumScape. In other words, should you get some battery technology to capitalize on the EV industry, or should you go with one of the up and coming EV stocks like Rivian Automotive? So that's kind of what we're going to look at in this video. I'm going to look at 4 different metrics to make this decision. So let's get right into it, starting with revenue. Looking at Rivian, its revenue jumped to 536 million in its most recent quarter as it's just now beginning to ramp up production. It's got order backlogs and it's got that 100,000 EDV order from Amazon. Amazon is also one of its big investors. So Rivian's going to continue ramping up production, ramping up sales at least over the next several quarters. Plug Power also is ramping up, expanding its battery network to and generating sales 188 million in its most recent quarter. What you see missing is QuantumScape because it only started delivering its technology in December, its prototype, so it's still just in the very early innings of it ramping up its business here. The next metric I wanted to look at is operating income, and Rivian, as it's ramped up production, its operating income has gotten worse, so it's losing more money the more it's ramping up production. Operating losses of 1.77 billion in its most recent quarter. Plug and Power, the same thing. Losses are worsening, going all the way down to 159.75 million. And QuantumScape as well. Losses are worsening as it's developing its business, ramping up output, trying to start its sales process, losing 113.43 million in its most recent quarter. And this metric here should highlight the riskiness of investing in these kinds of up and coming super hyper growth stocks here, is because they're losing so much money while they try to ramp up and while they try to reach these economies of scale to where they can eventually, hopefully, become profitable. But there is no guarantee that they will ever reach that level. And so that's the risk with investing here, is that these companies never reach that level, never become profitable, and end up fizzling out before they ever become a viable, sustainable business. The next metric I wanted to look at is cash flow from operations. Again, this highlights the riskiness here with all of these companies losing tons of money here. Rivian losing the most here, burning through 2.66 billion in cash flow in 2022 in cash from operations. Plug Power losing 318 million, and QuantumScape losing 218 million. And what you also notice is the trend is going in the opposite direction of where you would like it to go. As an investor, you'd like to see these cash flow from operations improving. Even if it's negative, you want to see the trend moving upward as these companies ramp up production, as they continue growing sales. But that's not the case here. They're all moving in the opposite direction. So finally, I wanted to look at the valuation to determine which one of these 3 stocks is the best one to buy. And I chose to use the forward price to sales ratio, and I only even get data for 2 of the companies because QuantumScape, I don't get the data out yet because it's so new and ramping up sales. And so I've got to look at the valuation between Rivian and Plug Power here on the price to sales, and it looks like Rivian is trading at about half the valuation as Plug Power at 3.083 compared to Plug Power at 5.95 on a forward price to sales basis. And so looking at across all these 4 metrics that we considered for these 3 hyper growth stocks in the EV space, if I had to pick one of these 3 stocks to buy, I would go with Rivian Automotive. It's further along in the expansion process. It's got those order backlogs. It's got that significant commitment from Amazon, and Amazon is one of its largest investors. So if I was looking just at the viability of the businesses, Rivian looks to be one of the more viable ones, one of the ones that's less likely to fizzle out, and it's further along in its process in ramping up production. So for that reason, I would go with Rivian, although I will highlight all three of these stocks offer investors very high return potential, but they also come with a very high risk potential, right? These valuations of these stocks could fluctuate wildly, and so be aware of that as an investor if you're going into any one of these three stocks. All right, so that's all I've got for this video. I truly appreciate your viewership. Thank you for watching, and I hope I'll see you next time. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.